Shri Sai Ram. Dear students, hearty welcome to one and all to the chapter Our Environment of 10th class State Syllabus, textbook 1 in Science. Out of the 4 parts of our detailed study of this chapter, today is the part 3, which mainly deals with dynamics of ecosystem. Before we move on to the part 3 of this chapter, let us recap our previous class main points and also check out the assignment 2 answers and get it cleared. In our previous part of this chapter, we understood that a food chain is nothing but eating and being eaten. Further, we continued in the food chain, the series of organisms that are interlinked, and that each step of that food chain where the organisms are there are being called as the trophic levels, the steps in the food chain. And always the first trophic level is always a producer which produces food. And the second trophic level will be a primary consumer, which is an herbivore. And the end part will be always the decomposers, that is the microorganisms which decompose the organic matter into simple fragments, convert them into nutrients and recycle the nutrients in an environment for the balance of the ecosystem. A simple example of the food chain, along with that the trophic levels are mentioned. Hope you have recapped this part. Further, the types of food chain was also been understood on the basis of the primary consumer. If the primary consumer is an herbivore, it is herbivore food chain. If the primary consumer is a parasite, it is parasitic food chain. If the primary consumer is a detritivore, which feeds on dead, decayed matter, then we call it as a detritivore food chain. We further understood food web, which is nothing but a network of food chains. Dear students, above all, the food chain and food web, if functioning is better and soothing, then the ecosystem is balanced also. Answers for assignment 2. What is the role of producers in a food chain? The answer: producers help in preparing food by converting the solar energy into chemical energy. To convert the solar energy into chemical energy, the producers, which are nothing but the green plants in the terrestrial habitat and blue-green algae or the algae in the aquatic habitat, they have chlorophyll pigment. This chlorophyll pigment converts the solar energy into chemical energy. Henceforth, the producers prepare food. What will happen if we kill all the organisms in one trophic level? The transfer of food energy to next level will stop. There will be decrease in the population in a particular species. It will bring imbalance in the ecosystem. So one trophic level is disturbed in a food chain, then the eco balance will be imbalanced. The ecosystem will be imbalanced because there will be stop of food energy flow. With that, an imbalance is created. Hence, each trophic level is important. Construct a food chain and a food web. You are observing a carrot that is being eaten by rabbit, and the rabbit eaten by wolf, and the wolf eaten by lion is one simple food chain. a food chain. Once again we repeat here, the carrot that is eaten by rabbit, and the rabbit eaten by wolf, and the wolf eaten by lion. A food web. If you observe here, the wildflowers or the grass is here, and the primary consumer rabbit is eating the wildflowers, or the rabbit may eat the grass also. Even the grass that is eaten by mouse, and the mouse eaten by snake, even the rabbit eaten by python or a snake species. Then the mouse can be eaten by hawk also, even the rabbit can be eaten by hawk, and the snake also can be eaten by hawk. Here you are seeing many food chains network, hence it is a food web. Match the following. Nostoc, or which is a producer, and the fish is an herbivore, yes. And the fungi, the third one, is the Q, that is the decomposer. The beer, to tell you all, it is an omnivore. I am seeing many students have written all the answers very perfectly, which shows that you have totally recapped and involved in the work that is being given for you all. I congratulate. If few mistakes are there, hope that you have corrected. And now let us move on to the part 3 of our environment chapter, and that is dynamics of ecosystem. The food and energy are the two basic and vital commodities for any sort of organism to sustain and to increase its progeny. The balance in the food chain and food web would retain the balance in ecosystem. So, an ecosystem is mainly based on two factors for its proper functioning, which is nothing but the dynamics of ecosystem. The functioning of ecosystem needs two factors. One is the food flow, the other is the energy flow. Food flow. In Kannada there is a saying, Yellaru maduvudu hottegagi genu battegagi, to tell you all. So food is very important commodity for any organism to sustain their life. And this food is supplied to all the organisms in every trophic level. It flows in all directions such that it is reached to each organism. So food is a multi-directional flow since it has to reach to all the organisms. So in all directions the food is going to flow. Energy flow. The main source of energy is the sun. And the energy flow is unidirectional in a food chain. Since the energy decreases from one trophic level to another trophic level in a food chain, hence in any food chain there will be 3 to 4 trophic levels. Maximum there may be 5 trophic levels. So why there is only 3 to 4 trophic levels in a food chain? Since the energy flow decreases from one trophic level to another trophic level. Why it decreases? We shall know it in the further part of this class itself. If you observe here, the solar energy, which is the energy from the sun, is being taken by the producers during photosynthesis. Light synthesis prepare. By using light energy, the green plants prepare food. So the food that is prepared by producers which will be consumed by primary consumers, the herbivores. During that process, 90% of the energy is being lost in the form of this heat. During what process? I hope you all are recollecting your chapter called Life Processes, where we might have dealt with respiration. If so, then we come to know that respiration is an energy liberating process where the food is being oxidized and the energy is being liberated. Hence, the producers, when they are respiring, the energy of them, 90% is being lost in the form of heat. Only 10% used by primary consumer. And from the primary consumer, if it is consumed by secondary consumer, the carnivores, again the 90% is lost, only 10%. Then from there to decomposers, again 90%. So the energy starts decreasing from one trophic level to another trophic level. Henceforth, we see only 3 to 4 trophic levels in any food chain, because the energy flow decreases from one trophic level to another trophic level. Why it decreases? It decreases when those trophic levels starts to respire. Then the energy is lost in the form of heat. That to 90% of the energy is being lost. That was being proposed by the selfless efforts of Lindeman, a biologist, who proposed this 10% law. What this 10% law states? During the transfer of energy from one trophic level to another trophic level, only 10% of the energy is being transferred. The rest of 90% is lost in the form of heat during respiration. Here, the word respiration is very important. Respiration differs from breathing. Breathing is just a mechanical exchange of gases. Taking in oxygen, leaving out carbon dioxide is breathing. But respiration, it is a biochemical process. The oxygen that has entered our body during breathing process combines with the food that we have taken, and oxidation of food takes place and energy is being liberated. So kindly see that you all mention this respiration word very perfectly while stating this law. A very important law for your kind information from the exam point of view. State 10% law of Lindeman. What it states, once again I repeat, during the transfer of energy from one trophic level to another trophic level, only 10% of the energy is transferred. The rest 90% is lost in the form of heat during respiration. If you observe an example here, a simple food chain, the grass that is eaten by deer and the deer eaten by lion. Here you are observing energy in the form of kilojoules. The grass is 300 kilojoules of energy what the grass had. According to the law, only 10% is being taken by the deer here. So 10% means 30 kilojoules energy. That's all the deer is going to possess from the grass. Then the deer that is eaten by lion, again the 10% only the lion is going to get the energy. Then 3 kilojoules of energy. I hope it is clear for all of you. How do we come to know about this? If you all are going to put efforts in working out this, then you will come to know the 10% law in a very good way. I hope that today's class of dynamics of ecosystem in the chapter Our Environment, all the students have understood. Try to recap today's part in your respective places and complete the assignment with total involvement and commitment, mainly with honesty, because honesty is the hallmark of a student. With these things, coming to the assignment 3. Any food chain can have 3 to 4 trophic levels only. Why? A question mark. Grass eaten by grasshopper, the grasshopper eaten by frog, and the frog eaten by snake, and the snake eaten by eagle is a food chain. And the trophic level energy is mentioned for frog, 45 kilojoules. They put question marks. You should complete the blank by filling the amount of energy that is there in those trophic levels. You all know 10% energy is being used. Then from frog to snake, it has to decrease by 10%. See, I am giving you a clue also here. From snake to eagle, again 10%. I am hearing one of the students telling already the answer for the snake. It is nothing but 4.5 kilojoules. You are correct. It is 4.5 kilojoules. Then one other boy is telling for grasshopper, the energy is, you have to multiply by 10 here. Then it will be how much? Try to work out. From the above food chain, calculate the amount of energy in the remaining trophic levels. And the third question, state 10% law. You have to state that law. Who proposed that law? Beautiful, you all are answering from there. It is Lindeman who proposed this 10% law. Now you all have to state that law also. I hope all of you will complete the assignment 3 and let us meet in the next class for the last part of this chapter, that is the 4th part. Till then, have a good day, offering our content at the lotus feet of the Almighty, thanking you one and all and praying for the world's peace and happiness. Jai Sai Ram.